Population growth and urbanization are causing many societies around the world to feel significant pressure to do away with the old so that new, more modern infrastructure can be built in its place. This phenomenon is perhaps most profoundly felt here in China. 50 years ago, China was in the midst of a cultural revolution where many people wanted to destroy the old society so that a new culture could emerge in its ashes. Now, in present-day Shanghai, the same pressure to do away from the old is coming from a new source, and that is, of course, the greatest human migration that has ever taken place in the history of humanity. China is transforming itself from a country of predominantly farmers into one of urbanites. Millions of people are moving from the inlands of the city, from the middle of China to the eastern seaboard, and as they do, there is a huge pressure to develop. In many cases, it's hard to justify preserving an old, run-down, low-density development when a new, more modern, high-density development could be built in its place. With high density, you can house more people and also provide more services to them. So often, the cultural significance becomes less important when developing than the financial and logistical aspects. Behind me is Tianzifang, one of the only remaining old pockets of Shanghai that currently exists in the city. In fact, it was not long ago that the government proposed to tear Tianzifang down so that a skyscraper could be built in its place. Many people living in the community at that time felt, though, that there had to be a better solution. So they got together and they came up with a proposal that would allow Tianzifang to preserve its historical integrity, but also get a more modern upgrade. By integrating shops into this historic area, they've actually allowed this place to be preserved so that you see now the old culture living side by side with the modern culture here in Shanghai. Tianzifang has transformed itself into a thriving retail and restaurant district that is very popular among foreigners and locals alike. As a result, new prosperity has been brought to the area, which is not only affecting Tianzifang, but is also affecting the surrounding communities as well. For now, Tianzifang has been saved by this proposal, but around the world, countries and societies are going to continue to face this pressure to develop. Creative solutions are needed to ensure that these most significant historical societies can be preserved. One such solution is the vertical city concept. By building dense, three-dimensional, highly interconnected infrastructure, we are able to preserve more of these historic areas because we won't need to develop everything everywhere. In fact, the vertical city concept only requires 2% of the land that would be required to build a conventional city to house the same amount of population. The remaining 98% of the land can then be used for nature, recreations, and to preserve other places like Tianzifang.